Alright, this is how you make a mockup in Adobe Illustrator. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make a new file. And once you make a new file, not really. It does not matter what size really, as long as it's a decent size. And then you want to look up whatever you want to make a mockup for. Let's look up shirt mockup. Okay. Now you could try using this, but if you try using this, you're not gonna have as much creative freedom as if you just made it yourself. So you're gonna want to right click and then copy the image and then paste it. And then once you paste it, you want to maybe make it a little bit bigger, and then you want to center it. And to center it, you want to select the item you want to center, and then you go up here, you click this button, and then after that, you lock the layer, you make a new layer, and then on this layer, you try and draw a line like in the center. So like this. And then once you do that, you have to make it visible with stroke. And once you do that, me personally, I'm gonna move it to the right just because it's not really centered until it gets about right there. And then once it's there, I'm only gonna do the outside right now. And when I mean outside, I mean like this outside part of the garment. So like nothing in the inside. So let's start right here. If you want to hold shift so it can be straight, that's what you want to do. And you hold shift again, and you just keep on clicking. And right now we're only doing the outside. Okay, and then once we do that, as you can see, we just have a bunch of straight lines that don't really match the garment and it kind of looks weird. So in order to fix that, we're going to use a pen tool, but we're going to use a curvature pen tool. And what you can do is you can just click it, but what I like to do is I like to hold shift and then click F1 and then click tilde, and then it gives you this, so then you can add the curves. As you can see, now it's starting to look more realistic. Okay, and then once we have this, delete this line. Wait, no, don't delete it. Just make it invisible and lock it for now. Okay, but once you do this, we want to select this with V, and we want to Control C to copy, and then Control V to paste, and then we right click it, transform, reflect, and then we have this, which is the mirrored image. And what we want to do from here is we want to hold Control, and then we want to drag it by this anchor point right here. So hold Control, and then once you do that, it's going to literally just snap to it. And as you can see, there are no gaps. And then, once you're right here, something you can do to join them together is use the join path tool. And in order to use this tool, you're going to do Control A, and then you want to draw over this, and it's going to get rid of it. As you can see, there's no more anchor point. And then do the same thing up here. And as you can see, now when we move it together, it's not going to just separate. And this also makes it to where you can make clipping masks and stuff. And now, for the rest of the inside, what we want to do is, we want to bring this line back, and then we draw the inside stuff. Let's unlock this. So start right here, and then you go up to this anchor point right here, and then you click it, and then you click enter. And then we're going to do the same thing for the collar right here. And then to do that, we're going to do the same thing for this hem on the sleeve. And then what we want to do is we want to make this side seam. I'm going to make it a little bit shorter just because I don't like how it looks. And then what we do from there is we make the sleeve cap. And in order to make the sleeve cap, we hit the anchor point right there. And then we just drag it to where it intersects the path like that. Okay. And once again, as you can see, it looks really weird because it's just straight. And In order to fix that, you have to use the curve path tool. So in order to get to that, you have to hold shift and then F1 and then click tilde, and then it unlocks it. So click right here. As you can see, you can add curves, and you just want to do the same thing to both of them. Add a little bit of curve right here. And from here, what I like to do is I'm just gonna delete this. Well, I'm not gonna delete it. I'm gonna lock it, and then I'm gonna make it invisible, because you never know, we might need it later. So then you select both of these, and in order to select two items, you want to be on the selection tool, and then you want to click this item, and then in order to select another one, you hold shift, and then you click this as well. And what you can do is you can do Control C and then Control V, or what I like to do, just because it's a lot less inputs, is, hold on, I'm gonna select it again. You hold Alt, and you'll see that like the arrow gets duplicated, and then you can actually make. And then you do transform, reflect, and what we want to do from here is we want to hold Control, and then do the same thing we did with the shirt, and just drag it until it locks with the anchor point. But as you can see here, there's a little gap, and in order to fix that gap, what we gotta do is we gotta do Control A to select everything, and then go to the tool path. I mean, join tool. And then we go right here. And now there's no more gaps. And then another thing we can do is right here, we join these two together. And do it the same thing on this side. Okay. Now all that's left is to add these to the other side. But what I'm going to do before I do that is I'm going to select both of these with the direct selection tool, which is A. And you're going to do the same thing you did with shift earlier. And you're going to go to this tool, and you're just going to drag over it like this. It's going to join them together. And then if you still want the shoulder seam, you can just click right here on the anchor point, and then just do something like that, and then it extends it. But I don't really want that detail, so I'm going to do Control Z. Oh, you'll see them in the video. You'll see them in the video. You'll see them in the video. Okay, so then you want to select all these with Control A and holding Shift, and then you want to do the Alt drag, which will duplicate it. But when you do the Alt drag, you want to switch to V, because if you do Control A when you do that, it's just going to make it look weird. Okay. Then you right click, transform, reflect. Okay. And then you're going to want to hold Control and then drag it right here. And now as you can see, it matches the other side. And then we just do the same thing for this hem right here. Control C, Control V. Sometimes I like to switch it up, just whatever you prefer. Okay. And now we have a perfectly symmetrical mock-up. Another thing you can do is, I don't really like how it's kind of like angled right here. It kind of looks like a V-neck, and I hate V-necks. So you click A right here. And once you click A, you'll see this little circle. And then what that's going to do is it's going to add like a radius, like a fillet almost. And then as you can see, if I click it and I drag this up, it's going to round it out. I'm just going to drag it to the max because I feel like that looks the best. I'm going to do the same thing right here. And then you would just do the same thing, the same exact thing for the back. But you don't have to start from scratch. All you have to do is just literally just paste this, drag it over here, and then just change up a few details. And the only detail you really have to change is the neckline. So you delete this, delete this, delete this, this, and then you click pen, and then you click right here. Then you go to the center, and then you do the curvature tool. Then you do this, and then you paste it, reflect, and then you do control drag, and then you're good. You're done. Just make this invisible.